For a long time now, the terrorist group Jundullah has been sought after by Iran's government for conducting terrorist activities inside Iran, branded a terrorist group, the ringleader AbdolMalek Rigi claiming his mission was to defend the rights of Sunnis inside Iran.
Jundullah is a militant organization led by AbdolMalek Rigi. It cases to be fighting for the rights of Sunni Muslims in Iran. The militia group, founded in 2003, claims to be 2,000 men strong. The Iranian government believes that the organization is behind many acts of terror, kidnapping, hostage executions, and drug smuggling. Jundullah killed 25 people and injured over 120 in its latest attack on Zahedan Mosque in May 2009.
The group has staged a number of attacks in recent years, but it was a pair of coordinated bombings last October which killed several Revolutionary Guard Corps commanders that drew the most attention.
Now, even Sunnis in Iran denounced him not only for his fabricated mission, but more so for his horrific crimes. The group has killed hundreds of Iranians, both civilians and military personnel. But finally, Jundullah's leader, AbdolMalek Rigi, and his deputy were arrested.
The United States was quick to condemn the bombing, even though the U.S. funds news agencies such as Voice of America and Radio Farda, who granted interviews to AbdolMalek Rigi, hailing him as a freedom fighter.
I will do everything in my power to make sure our hardworking men and women in our intelligence, law enforcement, and homeland security communities have the tools and resources they need to keep America safe. This includes making sure these communities and the people in them are coordinating effectively and are held accountable at every level. And as president, that's what I'll do.
Iran has revealed that he was aboard a flight from Dubai to Kyrgyzstan when arrested. A picture of him at a U.S. base in Afghanistan just 24 hours prior to his arrest was also shown, along with what Iran has maintained regarding him, that the United States has sponsored and funded this group to carry out terrorist activities inside Iran. But why is it that the U.S. practices double standards in dealing with the issue of terrorism?
And it's why we forge new partnerships, as in Yemen, and put unrelenting pressure on these extremists wherever they plot and train, from East Africa to Southeast Asia, from Europe to the Persian Gulf. And though often out of sight, our progress has been unmistakable. Along with our partners, we've disrupted terrorist financing, cut off recruiting chains, inflicted major losses on al-Qaeda's leadership, thwarted plots here in the United States, and saved countless American lives.
If Iran makes its case, and the West tonight is skeptical of these claims, there's a call already by Ron Paul in Washington today and Congressman Ellison for a congressional investigation. It looks like a smoking gun, but if there's demonstrative evidence, and if the Iranian investigation is transparent in the sense that they present to the international community a compelling case, well, then the Americans are involved in an act of war.
Iran today interviewed the ringleader's brother, Hamid Rigi, who was captured and extradited to Iran in June 2008. During his candid interview, Hamid Rigi gives a first-hand account of Jundullah's operations and reveals its sources of financing and logistical support.
And certainly it belongs in the Security Council of the United Nations. There will be a call for a congressional investigation because, as you mentioned, this is a double standard, not new, but this kind of clear case is going to send some shockwaves, I think, through the American public. I think there will be consequences in the legal area for sanctions against Iran when you've got something more immediate here with hit squads coming out of Israel via Europe to Dubai, and now you've got operations, if the proof is there and if it's established, of a direct involvement in active aggression against Iran.
It's been nearly a year since I stood on the steps of the U.S. Capitol and took the oath of office as your president. And with that oath came the solemn responsibility that I carry with me every moment of every day. The responsibility to protect the safety and security of the American people.
After Obama was elected, the Americans contacted us by the person that I named in Quetta in Pakistan, and they met with me They met us after the clashes with my group around 17th of March in Zahedan, and he said that the Americans had requested a meeting. I said that we didn't have time for a meeting, and if we do meet them, they should promise to help us. And they said that they will cooperate with us, free our prisoners, and will give you military equipment, bombs, machine guns, and will give you a base along the border with Afghanistan next to Iran. The Americans said that Iran was only going its own way, and they said our problem at present is Iran. They said we don't have a problem with Al-Qaeda or the Taliban, but the problem is Iran, and we don't have a military program against Iran. The CIA is very particular about me, and is prepared to do anything for you, because our government has reached the conclusion that there is nothing that the Americans could do about Iran, and only I could take care of their operations for them. They said the Americans said it was too difficult to attack Iran militarily, but we want to initiate all the establishments which are opposed to Iran, and we'll reach the conclusion that your organization has the power to create difficulties for the Islamic Republic, and they were prepared to give us training and any assistance that would be required in terms of security of telecommunication and ways of using procedure for using all other hardware. And if you needed additional support, the Americans would be willing to supply it.
On that day, I also made it very clear. Our nation is at war against a far-reaching network of violence and hatred, and that we will do whatever it takes to defeat them and defend our country, even as we uphold the values that have always distinguished America among nations.